Hello, everybody. I know somebody else mentioned every time I say that, it sounds like the guy from Simpsons. Hello, everybody. Courtney here, New Mexico Stitching Demon, for Stitch With Me number 25! Ah! It's insane! 25 of these. Um, but hey, you guys keep watching, I'll keep making them. Plus, they're fun, you know? I enjoy them. Obviously, today we're still working on Legend of Dragoon. Like I said in my update video, this is the one I'm going to be working on for the next several weeks. Before I get started, though, I wanted to kind of show you guys the planner a bit better because, like I said, the computer has really crappy quality. And yes, we are listening to music today. So, this is pretty much how I have it set up. This is for the month of January, as you can see. And it's 3 days pattern, 1 day focus, 3-day kit. And that's pretty much what I was trying to show, and it just didn't come out really good, but, you know. I've got it set up for January and February, and then it's going into March, so at that point, new rotation. So I just wanted to show you that a little bit more clearly, as you can see. So, nice. Put that aside. And this is my floss box. Woohoo! Doesn't have all the floss in there yet. Someday, though. Someday. But anyway, here we go. Sorry, didn't mean to hit the stand. I thought very much about just doing this in my comfy spot. But, I never know what you guys are seeing over there, so. And, you know, it doesn't, you know, you wind up seeing more of me, and right now, today you really don't want to see me. I do not look good. As Regina, the sweary stitcher, would say, I look particularly homeless today. So... I am on the final page of this row of pages. I am so excited to finish this thing. I hope to have it completely finished by the end of the year. That would be super awesome. We will have to see. Also, I think I found a way. I did. To film my update videos. When I was first doing FlossTube, I was filming them on my fiance's laptop. It's a Unix, Linux software thingy. It's an HP. And of the 2 laptops that we have, it's the only one that's got a God, this lighting is horrible. Sorry, guys. Whoops. Sorry. It's the only 2 that's got a webcam. So that's pretty much what you're gonna wind up seeing me on. But I remembered that, but yeah, because it's up in the air, because I remember that, like, it would autofocus really bad because of the lighting. So if I do go back to using that, I'm gonna have to find a new means of lighting. Okay. See if I can get to a better position here for lighting, because yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's much better, so I'm gonna get it. Sorry. There we go. But anyway, if you guys have seen my Instagram posts I did earlier, we have our Christmas tree up. We have our stockings up. I've got my Christmas village up. got the floss boxes up because we rearranged over the weekend. That was one of the reasons why I couldn't, or over last weekend. Was it last weekend? Maybe it was sooner? I don't know. 1, 2. Anyway, we rearranged the living room because we obviously were going to set up the Christmas tree. Oh, we must have done, I don't remember. Anyway. But we wound up setting it up today because we had the time to do so. I remember I can zoom on this, I think. Can I? Ooh. That's better. Kinda. But anyway, I had taken off all of the floss boxes that were on the wall where a good portion now of the entertainment center sits. And we got them set back up in kind of like a staggered way so that the cats can get up to the top of the entertainment center where there's a hammock and a blanket set up so she can be comfy. And usually it's just Diamond because Missy's never been up there before. So obviously she would not know what to do with herself. But it does look really cool now, so I'm very happy. Very happy. So, something that happened this past week that I didn't mention. Not that it's, like, exciting. It wasn't even all that great. I had the worst migraine I have had in a very, very long time. And I say that because since I started my job and gotten glasses, 1, 2... my migraines have been very, very infrequent. And I do get migraines, and when I do, they are fucking horrendous. I mean, anybody that deals with migraines knows these things suck. Like, they're really bad. They're ugh. I mean, is there really any other term for them? Except for fucking horrendous. Most unpleasant, we'll say that. I had woken, since Sunday, I've been fighting a headache, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, and then Wednesday morning I wake up, got a little bit of a headache, and well, I'll be fine, I thought to myself. Nope. I wasn't at work 2 hours, people, and I was like, I gotta go. I'm bouncing. I've got a bad headache. There's no way I can function. I'm sorry. It's a migraine. Peace out. Came home and immediately threw up. And it was just like that and all day. Puke and sleep. Puke and sleep. About 7 or 8, I guess, the headache finally started to go away, but I was still nauseous. And Dane was like, I don't think that's a migraine, dear. And I'm like, no, it is. I think it's just this bad because... Oh, oops. Oh, yeah. It had been so long since I'd had a migraine that my body was like, well, we need to make up for lost time. Not a good thing to make up on lost time for. Thank you. I love this American. Hoping you guys are not seeing. Oh, I know you're not seeing the top of my head. Thank God. So I found the show on Netflix. This is kind of entertaining, and really, it's on so I can just kind of kill time today. charge my controller. Excuse me. It's called Tornado Hunters, and it's this team from Canada, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and it is, to be fair, actually pretty entertaining, if a little bit scripted, if a little bit campy, but these guys travel all over North America, essentially. Well, not all over North America, because tornadoes aren't all over North America. But, chasing tornadoes, and that's how they make their money. And they have some really incredible pictures. And you guys have seen that picture, or that video, of the bear, the mama bear, pulling her cubs off the freeway? Well, these guys took that video. And that's pretty much what got them noticed. Wasn't originally their tornado videos or whatever, which were pretty popular, but this one got them viral. So, but they take some really extremely awesome footage of tornadoes and storms and time-lapse videos and pictures. I mean, these guys are really good at what they do. 4-5, yep. I remember I watched, and the reason why I found it was because I was seeing if Twister was on Netflix, and it's not. I love that movie. Love Bill Paxton, love Helen Hunt in that movie. I thought that was like one of their best. I mean, they have really great chemistry on screen, you could tell. I mean, it was really, it's a well done movie, and it's, I mean, it was what, 1993? 94 when that movie came out, and, I mean, obviously in the last few years we lost Bill Paxton, but I mean, the movie's a classic as far as I'm concerned. I love it. And I've got the soundtrack in my TARDIS right now, which is a good soundtrack. 1, 2, 3. And I thought, oh, I want to watch Twister. And I have it on Blu-ray. I can easily put it in, no big deal. But I was just kind of curious to see if it was on Netflix, and it's not. Which, you know, whatever. But, 1, 2. But, you know, I was just kind of curious, you know, because when you go into the search function and you say, oh, I want to watch Twister, you type it in, and then like a billion other things pop up. Well, this show, Tornado Hunters, popped up, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch that. And it's entertaining, and the kind of stuff that they see and go through is pretty entertaining. And I remember when I first saw Twister, I think in fact, I know, we were in a hotel room. But my whole family and myself, I was a little kid. 8 or 9 years old. 9, 10, I don't remember. I was a little kid. And I was like, oh, I want to be a storm chaser when I grow up, and so that was, you know, whoops. Oh, there it is. So that was my goal when I was a kid. Well, one of like 3,000 goals. You know, when you're a little kid, you don't really know. Yeah, I sure as shit didn't. I think I went through like 14 different careers before I finally settled on, I don't know. And that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm getting my degree in criminal psychology, but what to do with that is basically where I'm at right now. But anyway, you know, I thought, oh, I'm gonna be a storm chaser. You know, it'd be cool, chase tornadoes and all this fun stuff. And then I realized everything that had to go into it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, learn to be a meteorologist. You know, no big deal. Then I realized that there was this thing involved with it that I'm just not that good at, and that is math. My ass is not good at math. I hate math. Which is why I'm really glad Dane's the one doing all of the finishing of the projects. He's the one making my, I'm just going to call it the super project bag. It's, you know, guys, I wish I could explain it better than I did, but when it's done, I'll have to show it to you. But he's good at math. Me, not so much. So I don't even, I was like, here, honey. If I don't have a calculator, I'm pretty much lost. But yeah, as soon as I realized what was all involved and, you know, learning all of these terms, I was like, oh, maybe not. But, you know, I quit a lot of stuff when I was a kid. Just because I thought it was going to be too hard. But now... Six? Yeah, that seems about right. One. Two. Another thing that I wanted to do when I was a kid was I wanted to join an orchestra. And I wanted to do that for years. I was in band in high school and played a little in college, and I still have my flute and my piccolo sitting in our library slash craft slash storage room slash cat's room. I just haven't really played it very well, played it very much, because I was going off of the CD playbooks, and dumbasses that we are, we put them in a location where they managed to grow mold, and that really bummed me out. So we wound up throwing them away, and now my instruments just kind of sit there as decoration. And but yeah, I wanted to, you know, I thought, oh yeah, that'd be cool, you know, play in an orchestra, the London Philharmonic or the Prague Symphony, or 1, 2, 3, or something, you know. That would have been really, really fucking cool. I mean, it would even be even cooler if I could have, if I had stuck with it, to play with film composers and work on film music. That would have been a lot of fun too, but I thought it was going to be too hard because, you know, you have to practice a lot when it comes to music. You do. I mean, otherwise you're not that good. I mean, really, that's with anything, you know, you can't just, like, say, I'm going to be great at something and then, like, not do it. So... I'm going to kind of twist things this way because the lighting really is not good over there. Hold on a second. Oof. Oof. Hang on, guys. I'm going to reset up here. Hold on. Oh, better. Okay. Sorry about that, but yeah. I was like not getting good lighting back here, so I had to reset it. So, and of course I don't pause my music in the meantime, so that's another good way, you know, time lapsed. Music sounds kind of weird, all a little off. So yeah. I wouldn't say I ever lost interest in wanting to be a musician, but there was more, you know, socially it seemed like there was more emphasis on playing guitar or being in a rock band, and that makes you a musician. If you play the flute, that doesn't make you a musician, especially not in Southern California. I mean, really. Oh shit. At least that was the attitude. So So that dream kind of died, and of course, you know, I wanted to be a cop. That dream died because I'm not very fit to... I don't know. 3, 4. I did a whole lot of giving up in my life, and now I'm just like, you know what, I've just wasted so much of my time. I could have done so much. But if I had done certain things, if I had pursued music more than I had, if I had pursued, you know, being a storm chaser past, you know, oh, this sounds interesting. If I had pursued other things, would I have the life I have now? Absolutely not. I would not have my dogs. I would not have my Dane. 1, 2. So I guess, you know, the moral of that story is, you know, when you think that life, that the path that you want to be on in life, you know, let me rephrase that. The path that you are on is the path you were meant to be on. And you know, sometimes that path is shitty. So you just make different decisions, I guess. But, you know, you learn from those decisions if you're smart, if you have some insight. And you just kind of move on from there, you know? It's one of the reasons why I am a firm believer in reincarnation. I don't believe that... I can't, because I can't believe that it's a one and done kind of deal, because that's pretty shitty, don't you think? For people who, like, no matter how hard they try, they're just never gonna, they're never gonna have that happy life. Or, I mean, what does that say to people who lose their kids when they're really young? What does that say to people who, like, no matter how hard they try, or who were abused and were nothing but abused their entire lives? What does that say to people, you know, who are just, like, in the absolute worst positions in their life? Like, you're saying, well, that's it, sorry. You know, I don't buy that. I think, you know, yes, we learn from our experiences, absolutely. But to say, this is the one life you get, period, in all eternity. When you die, your soul dies. You are dust. You will go to a cloud factory that plays music and it's so, oh, or you're tortured for all eternity. I mean, what about the people who are tortured now? You know? So I believe that... 1, 2. So I believe that there is reincarnation, because, you know, something happened in this life to teach you a lesson. Maybe you didn't learn that lesson, so you go back until you learn that lesson, and then at that point, then you are finally, your soul is able to finally rest. You know? Could it be this life that you're in now? That where you learn your lesson? I don't know. But that's just my opinion, folks. You don't have to go apoplectic on it if you don't want to. I mean, we all have our opinions and our beliefs in this life, in this world, and that's fine. Oops. Hey, I have a question for you guys. How, for those of you who have grime guards and you're working with, whoopsie, products with a lot of fabric, obviously you can see, like, got a lot of fabric, a lot of loose fabric, and I mean, this thing is, it's wide, but for the most part it does its job, but still I have to, like, roll it up and tuck it back in, and maybe it's too wide, I don't know. I figured, you know, when I told Dane how I might need it, because, you know, I figured I was going to need more of it because of the amount of fabric that I have, but I don't know. So, do you guys have a trick to working with that? Because otherwise, you know, I mean, this isn't a huge pain in the ass, but, you know. One, two, three. It's been a good day today, I gotta say. It's always nice when, one, two, three, when I can get some good quality time in with Dane, because, two, three, because he works retail, and I've worked retail, and if you've ever worked retail, you all know that it is very, very damn difficult to get, ooh, I almost missed one. Ah! 1, 2. To get time off that coincides with friends or family or loved ones, because, you know, retail in general just has high turnover, and scheduling is erratic, and, you know, things like that, but no overtime, and if you request time off, you know, you're doomed to hell. 1, 2, 3. I remember when I was working at Smith's, where I used to work before, now I work for the state. Was talking to somebody, we were having a conversation. This conversation I actually had a couple times with a couple different people, but, you know, where we were really frustrated because, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I had called out, hold on 1 second, people. 1, 2, 3, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, yeah, so I had, like, called out. And when I was in retail, I tried very hard not to call out. And when I did, there was a damn good reason for it. Usually I was sick, you know, or I had a migraine. And I don't work sick or with a migraine, period. Because I can't function and I'm a plague to the public. Why the fuck would you want me in your building? But, it was one of those times where I'd called out and my boss made me feel like I had just let the whole store down, like the whole department was just going to go to hell because I wasn't going to be there. And he's like, well, you need to make sure that you have your relief and blah, 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 blah. And when I did finally come back in from being sick, I was told, you need to be more careful. You're going to get written up. 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, why? I don't call out all that often. When I do, I was sick. I had a migraine, and I even explained that to people, But, like, they made it seem like it was the damn worst thing that I could ever do, oh God, was to be human, not a robot, and get sick. And then, so I was talking to somebody about it, a fellow coworker. God, I'm glad the lighting's good for you guys. I can't see shit. And we were talking about how, there are other people who call in or they don't show up. Nobody says anything. They don't get written up. They don't get talked to. As far as we know, nothing like that. So it's like this vicious double standard. And, and I had made mention, it seemed almost like if you're worth a damn, they're gonna, make you feel like shit because they actually need you. Like, your presence and what you do for that department, that company, matters. People who call out and nobody cares, obviously, it wouldn't have made a difference if they'd shown up anyway because they're crap employees. So, I still got frustrated every time I'd call out and they'd heavy sigh and, oh, I'm sorry, okay. But I would rather somebody do that than, okay, well, whatever. Because that just says, it's no different than if you were here if you weren't here. That means you're just a shit employee. That's not to say that the entire department burned down every time I called in sick, but there was a difference, and we would be told, from customers and management and damn near everybody else, when you're not here, we fucking notice. I'm sorry, but I was sick. Not coming in like that, people. Sorry. But thankfully, where I work now, if you get sick, they want you gone. They're like, all right, bye, get out. Do you have time built up? Yeah. Do you have the time to take off? Yeah. All right, get out. Just make sure you put it in. Okay. There's no guilt. There's no anything like that. Like, what everybody does is important. There we go. That works. And that's not to say what everybody does in retail is not important. From the courtesy clerk up to the store manager, what every person does is important. And it should make a difference whether or not you're there. But if you're a crap employee and you call out, nobody's really gonna care because it's not like you're there anyway because you do a shit job. But the whole reason for that whole thing was they do that with Dan. They're like, but we need you. We cannot function without you. And that's how it seems, That is really how it seems. So when he gets time off, obviously he does get his days off, but they don't always fall on my days off. And then, when they do fall on a day off, we spend the whole day together. We'll either, sit around, watch TV, he'll play video games and I'll stitch, or we'll watch movies, or we'll do some sort of crafting thing, we'll do something around the house, or maybe we'll go out of the house, we'll go on a date night, see a movie, go out for dinner, spend real good quality time together because, it matters to us. And for me, that's a big deal because there have been relationships that I've been in that I'm just like, whatever. 3, 4. Like the last one, didn't care. Like I was like purposely trying to get more hours so I didn't have to spend time with him. But you know, we ask for extra hours now because we know that it helps our finances. It helps build up that savings account because we've got plans. You know, we're getting married next year. We're looking to eventually buy our own property, have a family. You know, got any money to do that? But I absolutely just enjoy spending time with my fiance. With, you know, doing whatever. We could be doing nothing and I'm happy. You know, which is good because neither one of us are very social people. In that, now I'm a very outgoing person, which is probably one reason why I've only got, not only, why I have 276 subscribers on YouTube, which, by the way, thank you for every single last one of you. I appreciate it so much. But I think one of the reasons why some of these floss tubers, YouTubers, have as many followers as they do is because this is their way of connecting. And that's great. That is fucking great. But for more extroverted people, it's like, this is just another thing that we do, you know? And maybe other people see that? I don't know. I think you should just be who you are. Extroverted, introverted, outgoing, reserved. 1, 2. You know, as long as you're not like obnoxious and bitchy and look at me, I'm so cool. You're so not cool. As long as you're not one of those people, awesome. Yeah. So I have nobody to binge as far as Stitchers are concerned. Whether they do floss tube, whether they don't do floss tube, I don't care. 1, 2, 3. There's a couple that I've been interested in perhaps starting to binge. Carly, I forget what her channel name is. What, you know, she's featured a lot. She's talked a lot about with Sammy J and Regina the Sweary Stitcher, and I forget her channel name. I know that the best way to do that is just go on to Regina's, look at her who she's subscribed to, and find her. So I'm going to check her out. And then I know I want to check out Stitching May, because, I don't know, I follow her on Facebook, not fucking Facebook, Instagram, and I love the stuff that she does. And, you know, I just hear so much good things about her, not just because of the stuff that she does, but because of the person that she is. She's just such a beautiful person, is what I hear. And there's not enough of that, as far as I'm concerned. There's too many people just like me telling you, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'll tell you how I feel about things and what my opinions are, but I'm not going to tell you how to think and how to feel about certain things. I'm just not. That's not me. You know, you guys know I'm opinionated, that I have a view of the world that isn't like everybody else's, and that's fine. 3, 4. Hold on. 5, 6, 7. So, yeah. I think there needs to be, more of a, because there's so much of an, uh, what was I saying? There's such an offended culture now, like, oh, I don't like what you say, I'm offended. Don't ever say that again, and now I'm gonna I'm gonna protest so that uh, and that's just ridiculous because what I say isn't gonna not everybody's gonna agree with what you say, and not everybody's gonna agree with, and that just needs to be okay. Period. Nobody should be censored for their opinions. Now, if those opinions incite violence, uh, if it incites violence and hate and horrible shit like that, then yeah, you're just asking for trouble. But if it's just like for example, I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe that every American has the right to bear arms because we are given that right through the United States Constitution. If you don't want to buy a gun, if you don't want a gun in your house, I'm not going to tell you, well, you're wrong. You're an idiot. You need to have a gun in your house. Because what if? 1, 2, 3. If you don't want a gun, don't buy a gun. If you don't like drugs, don't do drugs. If you don't agree with gay marriage, don't marry somebody of the same gender. I mean, I am of the belief that I don't agree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it because it's your opinion. That's your right to say it. I mean, I might not like it. Hell, you might say something that might totally offend me or piss me off. But I'm not going to unfriend you. I'm not going to unfollow you. I'm not going to stop talking to you because you have a different view of the world than I do, It's when you shove it down somebody's throat, that's when we're going to have a problem, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think that's where we kind of, in my opinion, in my view, for what it's worth, that's kind of where we really need to get back to, is take out this PC culture of, oh, don't say that because you might offend somebody. And, and that really drives me nuts when people are like, oh, you need to be careful what you say and how you say it and blah, blah, blah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fine. I get it. In certain situations, you don't want to, pop off a dirty joke. I get it. But when you're around your friends or coworkers that can deal with it, big fucking deal. I'm not going to temper my opinion just so I don't offend somebody. And that person decides to scream at the sky because of what I have to say. Well, now you just look stupid. And that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. That is perfectly okay. Oh, I'm going to finish up this color, I think, and then I'll let you guys go. But I wanted to talk about Doctor Who. I am a fan of Doctor Who. I have always been a fan of the Doctor. Well, not always. let's rewind that, shall we? I was first introduced to the Doctor, whole scale, a few years ago, basically right near the end of Matt Smith's tenure as the 11th Doctor. when they did around the 50-year anniversary in 2013 is when I started becoming a big Doctor Who fan. Doctor Who was always a very inclusive show. It was always about, friendship and loyalty and love and, that it didn't matter your race or your species, that, there is something that connects everybody. I mean, it was extremely inclusive. They kept the PC shit out. Everybody could watch it and everybody could enjoy it if they so chose. They laid off the heavy, preachy stuff. There was always a good story that you could follow along. You were invested in the characters. You got to follow around this kooky guy and now a kooky girl, and sharing their adventures through the eyes of their companions, And now, I'm not going to go into the political PC bullshit that Doctor Who's become. I'm not going to touch on that. Let's take that out. Let's take out the fact that, Chris Chibnall has white guilt. Let's take out that Jodie Whittaker is a feminist of the worst kind. I'm just not even going to touch all of that. The show got fucking boring, is what happened. The stories go nowhere. It's preachy. It's not fun. It's anticlimactic. You're not invested in these characters. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's my problem with Doctor Who this new season. Now, I mention this because it just came out recently that at the end of the next season, Chris Chibnall, the new showrunner, and Jodie Whittaker, the new Doctor, are bailing out. And, okay. Good. Fine. I like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. I think her Doctor is okay, but she's not like... Oh, okay, let me put it this way. I was watching another channel YouTuber dude. He goes on, rants and stuff on nerddoms, basically. And I forget his name, but he made a really, really good point about the Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, in that she's not believable as the Doctor. She's cosplaying the Doctor. Like, she's trying to take elements of all the other more modern Doctors and be that. And I just I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. And I think that he put that very, very well eloquent. He said it was spelled good. He put it eloquently enough that I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how I'm seeing it too. There have been a couple times during the new season where I'm just like, oh, whoa, I can't wait till they go with that. That could lead to a really good story. And then they just kind of drop it like a bad hat, and that's it. It's like, well, what the fuck? Like, for example, in the second episode, where they're on the desolate planet and they're looking for the TARDIS, which is a whole nother thing. I mean, I like the TARDIS, but it just seems too claustrophobic to me. I don't know. I want to love the TARDIS again, but I don't. So, there's this scene where they're outside in the dark and these sheets of fabric are, flying all around them. They're about ready to kill them. Blah, blah, blah. And one of them starts saying, oh, she's the timeless child. And she goes, wait, what? Huh? What are you talking about? And, oh, she doesn't know. Oh, wait till she figures it out. And I'm like, the timeless child? Ooh, a storyline. Wow. Oh, cool. This will be great. And then you never see it again. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you could have really gone somewhere with the Doctor. You could have really, like, done a story arc where there was a part of this Doctor that maybe she didn't really know about herself, that she had no clue, um, throughout her entire life, like, who she really was, and, you know, why she was able to regenerate, or what made it, the Doctor so special that the Time Lords gave her this brand new round of, regenerations. Because, I mean, if you remember, at the end of Matt Smith's, where he's talking to Clara, you know, the Time Lord only gets 13, and his was it, because the War Doctor, which we don't really count as the Doctor, so Matt Smith was supposed to be it, but, you know, the Time Lords, with our Clara Oswald's persuasion, gave him a brand new round of regenerations, you know? 3. And, you know, I mean, they really could have gone somewhere with that whole line. They could have gone somewhere with the companions. I think that the companions that they chose are there for diversity's sake. They're not there to really invest your time in. 1, 2, 3. Like, I just... 1, 2, 3. Like, I'll start to kind of, you know, really see something in them, and then it just kind of goes away. You know? I was talking to my in-laws about it, in fact, and, you know, it's like there's nothing that connects these stories. There's nothing to really follow. And my mother-in-law put it very succinctly. She said it's an inner space road trip. 1, 2, 3. You know, that's all it is. It's like, hey, we're gonna stop here now. Oh, we're gonna stop here now. Yeah. I'm trying to hold on to the show. I'm trying, you know, I'm hoping that maybe with the departure of Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker, it will improve again. I think that the writers need to go as well. I really think that they need to take out this new style that they've got going on, and you know, I bet you if they looked online to a lot of fan fiction, they could find a lot of great ideas. You know, whole story arcs for the Doctor and her companions. I don't think that this will be the end of a female Doctor, though. I really, you know, I think that this iteration of the female Doctor isn't that great. I mean, I like her, but I don't. You know, I'm not going to be sad to see her go. I would not. I would. I would be kind of bummed if they're like, oh, failed experiment, and then they go back to a male Doctor. But they better pull that one off real good if they do that. So, that's my rant on Doctor Who. I love this, you know, I love I love the Doctor, and I love the stories that the Doctor can tell, and I love what the Doctor can represent. But I'm not too thrilled with this new Doctor. I'm not too thrilled with this new season. I am not interested in watching it at this point. If I'm kind of, I mean, and they had a year. You guys, they had a year between the Christmas episode and now, essentially, to get this shit down. And they fucked it up as far as I'm concerned. So, I think maybe the Doctor does need to go on a hiatus for a while and needs to rediscover who and what the Doctor is about. And it's not about, you know, it's not about what it is now. It's not supposed to be what it is about now. One constant with Doctor Who has always been change, and we're fine with that. I mean, that's kind of what got it going to the direction, is that things are always changing, and to accept the change. But so, you know, it's not the change of the show, it's the direction the show went that I'm not very happy with, and I'm just not thrilled. So, but anyway, that's my ranting, and And we got a color in. Hooray. So at this point, I'll just go ahead and let you guys go. I'm going to go back to watching some Netflix. I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to join Virtual Stitchers here in a little bit. Probably join them Virtual Stitchers later on this evening, I think. Yeah, I think so. And then I'm only going to be on for like maybe an hour or two. We'll see. Because that's what I thought the last time, and me and Regina just really like hit it off, so it was hard to say bye. So, but anyway, thank you guys for listening to my ranting today, and my rambling, and for stitching with me. I hope you guys have a really good week. If you have any suggestions of what you'd like me to rant about or ramble about, I'm also into, doing a little bit of research. Maybe I'll look up something that you might be interested in, and I'll talk about that at some point, perhaps, if you're interested. Here for you as much as I am here for me. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. And you guys have a good evening. Happy stitching. And I'll see you guys next week for Stitch With Me number 26. Woo! Later, guys. Bye.